Hello. Hold on.
Oh, look at it. She bought that. Period.
What's the craziest conspiracy theory you think about, but you wouldn't tell nobody?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You got one type there? Craziest conspiracy theory. Pizzagate. They all did that shit. They got the island. Yeah, Bill Gates. Goddamn the first lady. Goddamn the Trump. Yeah, all of them. They tapped in.
Hey, Mike, what's your worst breakup story?
My worst breakup story? I caught him in bed cheating and I whooped that.
Oh man. That's sad. All right, next question. What's heavier, a pound of pillows or a pound of pennies?
A pound of pennies.
Pound of pennies. This is the last one.
He can't even say it. He's gonna dial.
I'm not gonna answer that question.
Yo, welcome to the New Number Podcast. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for tuning in. We have a great topic for y'all today. We're going to talk about all the Trump derangement that's been going on. And the reason we're talking about that, because if you've seen the thumbnail, we're talking about America being untrustworthy. If you've seen all of the things that has been happening lately and all of the pushback about appointments that Trump has initiated about the vaccines when it comes to the FDA, the NIH, the World Health Organization. If you've seen all of these things that Trump has been doing and appointing people, your Tulsi Gabbard, your Tom Homan, about deporting families, all of this stuff, I want to tell y'all we're going to have a good topic. We got a lot of stuff to cover. The first thing we're going to get into, we're going to talk about this teacher attacking one of her students because he had a Trump shirt. Now, this is the third video I've covered of teachers attacking students. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this. And I was just talking to one of my homeboys about this. Good evening, brother. Long time. Good. I guess that. What GB mean? I ain't seen you. Hey, where you been at, man? Where you been at? But yeah, I want to talk about this teacher. But before we get to talking, me and my homeboy was having this conversation right before I came here to do the podcast. And the thing we were talking about was all the people that want to still talk about racism, especially black people. We as black people need to hang this reparations talk up, this racism talk up, all the stuff that just puts us further back, because it's crazy that we're still having conversations about racism in 2024. Does racism happen? Yes. Are there racist people out there? Yes. So let me get that disclaimer before y'all be on here. Racism, okay, cool. It happens. But for the most part, like I tell people, I stay in a black city, a black Mecca, black influence, the city damn near 80% black. There's no reason, I'm telling y'all, no reason whatsoever for me to be blaming Great Britain. Okay, Great Britain. There's no reason for me to be blaming a white man for anything that goes on in my life when I have control over what happens in my life. And I know a lot of people want to blame somebody or have this victim mentality, especially black people, but we got to let that go. You are the master of your own abilities. Ain't that what they said in Baby Boy? You're the master of your own abilities, and you need to make sure you act as if you can control your life. A lot of people don't want to be responsible for their life because if they have to look in the mirror and really assess who they really are, then they would know that they are a person that really ain't shit. I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds rude, but that's just the truth. A lot of people just really ain't shit, and they just want to have somebody to blame. And if you blaming racism as a black person, I'm going to say they gave us Obama. I'm going to say this again. They gave us Obama. Now, if they gave us Obama and we still talking about racism, and then we had another quote unquote black lady run for president and was the vice president, all that racism talking go out the window. I've been seeing people like Duke Deuce crying, talking about America so racist, pandering to black women. I'm like, bro, I can't believe that black men are so weak right now. I can't believe we're still crying about the same old. And I'm gonna just put it in layman terms. If you're in the hood right now and a nigga take your $20, or a nigga take your $20, are you gonna go and ask him for your $20 back, or you gonna go take it by force? Because we all know, point blank, period. You not just be like, well, can you please give me my $20 back? But you said that was your op. You had to go get that in blood. Same thing with America. If y'all think America's so racist, it'd be crazy for y'all to still be sitting here talking about reparations, what y'all can do, laws that need to be passed, legislation, and all this other stuff. No, go get it in blood. If you think America racist, if you think you are not compensated for all the work from all your ancestors from hundreds of years ago, because y'all claim y'all build so much, and to this day we don't see anything getting built in the hood, getting built in black neighborhoods. We don't see any of that in mass, or what black people have come together and built a lot of shit. So if y'all can point me to the direction where I can see a city in Baltimore, Birmingham, Montgomery, Chicago, St. Louis, Dade County, any of these places where they're Jackson, Mississippi, any of these places where it's an influx of black people that have built something and use their mind and put their willpower to it, let me know. I would literally go and take a trip and I will record it. It'll be one of my days out vlogging to show that black people just built so much. I get tired of hearing this rhetoric that black people build so much. And I see y'all be destructive every day. Y'all destructive when it comes to y'all families. Y'all don't come together to build family structures, units. Y'all don't make sure y'all have sex in a proper manner to where y'all ain't bringing lives y'all don't want to take care of in the world. Y'all don't know how to handle conflict resolution. Y'all out here killing each other every chance y'all motherfucking get. Like I said, I just watched a video of the migrants taking over neighborhoods in Chicago, and all the black men scared to do anything to the migrants up there or the illegals. But if a nigga step on your Jordans, you'll want to shoot him 100 times because he stepped on your Jordans. Like, rap music has programmed black men to hate other black men. But when it comes to protecting communities, building up family, actually being leaders and covering things, we don't know what that looks like, and we ain't seen it because they took the black man out of the household. Now, understand, it's been incentivized for a lot of black women to get rid of the black man. And I know a lot of people are going to have some pushback on that, but we see it to this day. There's plenty of videos from the 1960s and 70s of black women saying, hey, I got a kid, I don't want to take care of the man, which is crazy to me. But like I said, when it comes to black people talking about we even built so much, show me the railroad, show me, like, we have black people that have inventions. Don't get me wrong. But far as to be acting like we built America, come on now. Y'all was on plantations. Let's just be real. If you on a plantation, you out there picking cotton. It ain't a lot of building going on a motherfucking plantation. I'm sorry. It ain't a lot of building going on the plantation. Y'all try to act as if so much building going on around. Y'all ain't building White Houses. Y'all ain't building school systems. Y'all ain't building nothing. So let's keep it real. Show me where black people was doing all of this building in America. That's all I want to see. So we can stop this rhetoric, because if we were such great builders as black people, we would have our own neighborhoods, our own towns, everything that we want. We have black people that are multi-billion-dollar men now. Kanye West, LeBron James, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, P. Diddy. It's plenty of black men. Plenty of black men. Listen to me. Plenty of black men with billions of dollars. Look at your whole NBA, your whole NFL. Those are billions of dollars right there. Billions. Your Kevin Durant, he got to be close to $1 billion now. Your Kobe Bryant. Like I said, we want to have conversations about really building something for black people. They could have came together and started a collective and built something. Billions of dollars get spent on weave every year by black women. Billions of dollars get spent on buying Jordans by black people. We got to cut this whole racism talk out. It's over with. It's tired. I get tired, especially black men. Black women, I understand, because y'all want to have some emotional attachment to a struggle. Y'all want to have victim mentality. Y'all want to have a reason why your man ain't in the house. I get it. It is destructive behavior. The baddest man is destructive behavior. And real talk, that's how they want it. They want us to be divided. They always want to have buzzwords and trigger words to make people feel a ways. They always got to have that. They always got to have your xenophobe, your sexism, your misogyny, misogynoir, your racism, your whatever it is. They always got to have something there to make you feel a ways. If you elevate above all of that and can control what you can control, your life would be much better. Your life would be much better. I get tired of seeing so many people that want to jump out here and try to quote unquote help the community and do more in the community when their houses are in shambles. We're tired. Those days are over with. As Black people, we got to make sure we take care of our households, then our neighborhoods, and part of community building, it starts at home. And I always say this: part of me giving back to my community, I have 2 children. I got to raise my children enough and good enough so they won't be kicking in your front door. So they won't be a menace in our society, stealing and robbing and killing, doing dope, selling dope. That's what I'm trying to do and trying to build up and raise nice young men for generations to come that can give back to community. That's how a community starts. It starts with me making sure that I'm not putting any piss poor product out in the world. Far as my children, making sure I have a stable household that they come from, making sure I give suitable partners for young ladies to date out here, so they won't wreak havoc out here when they out here dating and causing turmoil of making women baby mamas and playing the baby daddy role, because we see how destructive that can be. Those days is over with. Those Black people, those days are over. Put the racism talk down. That is my rant for today. Put the racism talk down. Let's have some real community building stuff. Like I said, I stay in Birmingham. It is wild for me to keep hearing Black people talk about racism and you don't even encounter white people whatsoever. At work, you didn't encounter white people at school. You didn't encounter white people on the police force. Your mayor Black, your city council Black. And I'm going to always drive this down your throat, because most Black people stay in environments just like this, what I just described. From your Baltimores, your Chicagos, your Dade counties, your Jackson, Mississippi's. Like Black people stay in environments because we self-segregate naturally. Naturally, we do this. So, like I said, y'all make sure y'all put it down. And before we get started, y'all make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. We got a great show for y'all today. Make sure y'all subscribe to all of my channels and make sure y'all hit that notification bell. If you would like to support the channel, make sure y'all hit that super chat. And down at the bottom, we got the Cash App if you would like to support the channel. But let's get into it. So today we're going to talk about this lady right here. The reason we're talking about this lady right here is because this woman took it upon herself to assault somebody's child. And let's see the reason why she thought it was a good idea to assault someone's child.
If you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and then I can handle you how I see fit. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the blank you voted for. You're not in the clear. Please don't test your gangster on me, because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so
it
that
sounds like a threat.
It sounds very extreme. And again, I was in a moment of high emotions and I shouldn't have ever posted the video. But the message I was trying to get across, and it came off very wrong, was, if this is going to give people the almost permission in their minds to enact violence against women or anybody, I wanted to basically just say, I'm not going to go down without a...
This lady is crazy. This lady is crazy. And I don't know why this election, like I said, they have, let me change my, they have doped Americans up on fear. I'm going to say this again. They have doped Americans up on fear. Everybody got the Trump derangement. This going to be the last election y'all ever have. This is the most important election y'all have in y'all life. Like, they have really scared people and got so many people fearful, and they have been doing it. And there's been a perpetual state of driving fear down our throats. Like fear. It started with COVID. After COVID, you got, where did it come from? Who's gonna be president? Inflation, going to the store, you can't afford anything. They just been driving fear down our throats. Then they exacerbated with this last election cycle. It is getting scary out here, and y'all got to stay prayed up. Y'all got to make sure y'all meditate. Y'all got to make sure y'all eating healthy. Y'all got to make sure y'all going to the gym, because they are making sure that you are always on pins and needles so they can persuade you any way they want to persuade you, just like walking through the impulse counter. We know you're going to pick up something when you walk this motherfucker, and we're going to have whatever you need to make you feel a certain type of way so you can continue to be sick. And so the reason I'm labeled today about America being untrustworthy, because they put so much in front of us to make sure that we need government assistance, government help. We think we need handouts. We need somebody to pull us up instead of pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. This is what America has come to be. Be safe out here.
A fight. I mean, it's my life's dream to be a teacher. I consider those kids my kids because I don't have any of my own.
Now, don't start crying now. This is how it always be. Every time a female start crying, I'm going to say, that bitch lying. Excuse my French. But she lying just because she started crying, and this ain't real. These ain't real tears.
And they feel that for me.
Do y'all see any tears under her eyes? Y'all see any tears under her eyes?
And it's so fulfilling. It's so rewarding. And I know that what people see right now, I don't look like that person, but I truly would do anything to help any child.
How can you say that on the backs of what you just did and what you just put out there? People always want to tell us how important things are. If it's so important, you would think on the front end, you wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that at any time or any cost. I've seen people that actually feel like certain things are so important to them, they will remove themselves from certain situations before they ever jeopardize that. She doesn't think this is important to her because she's okay with assaulting people's kids and putting out tweets like that and telling people they need to get out of her way if they voted for Donald Trump. This is why we need to go back to keeping religion and who we vote for and our sexual proclivities and sexuality secret, and take everything and put it back in the closet.
And any family in need.
Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the you voted for. You're not in the clear.
Peace, the USA matrix of regularity, are regularly scheduled and programmed today. Yes, sir, it is.
And just please don't test your gangster on me, because you will end on a stretcher, gone forever.
This is how crazy these people are. We got to talk. We're going when I get these panels, we're going to start the panels back next week. We got to talk about the 4B movement. We got to talk about the women shaving their heads. We got to talk about it's crazy. And I'm going to say this again. When did voting become a community building thing? Because I voted for what I think my household needs. I believe in majority rules, and I don't believe in impeding on anybody else's vote by trying to threaten them to vote a certain type of way. The KKK did that. The KKK was part of the Democratic Party, and the KKK made sure that black people voted a certain type of way to make sure they can get things for themselves. But a lot of people don't know that bit of history. You got to understand, when people are out here threatening you because of your vote, they're trying to make sure they can persuade your vote for future elections. You got to be strong, man or woman. You have to be strong and steadfast. And sometimes, sometimes you got to do this thing like I used to do. I used to be in class all the time, and people used to cheat off my paper, especially in math class. Math was my strongest subject. And what I would do is, if I seen them copying off my paper, I would intentionally write down the wrong answer, and right before it was time to turn in my test, I will put the right answer down. And then when I get my paper back, that I got an A and they got an F, and they're trying to figure out how this happened, and they copied off my paper. So what I'm saying is, Sometimes you gotta lie and sneak to the poll. You gotta say, yeah, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna vote for Kamala, and then you might have to just go and vote for Trump just to keep the peace. Because like everybody's saying now, some of y'all say y'all was voting for Kamala, but y'all didn't secretly went in there and voted for Trump. And I think a lot of people did that. This is how unhinged we are as a society that if we do talk about politics, I got to be so worried about the backlash, my job, being able to feed my family, that I can't even tell you truthfully who I voted for. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Hey, make sure y'all share the video. Like I said, today we have a great topic for everybody. Everybody that's watching, everybody in the world. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is Tom Holland. Tom Holland, he been going hard on deportation. Now, do I think they're gonna be able to deport 12 to 20, 25 million migrants, illegals? No. Now they say they can. But like I said, the only way we really gonna know is from like on the ground accounts of people in these neighborhoods saying, hey, they came through here with the National Guard, rounded up all of these migrants and sent them back over there. But do I think that they're gonna be able to round up 12 million people? I don't see it. They maybe can. We gonna see. We're gonna wait and see. Do I think these people was over here by design? I do. Do I think both parties had something to do with it? Somewhat. But we'll see. Like I said, they even talk about how Trump even told them not to pass one of the immigration bills because he didn't like all the stuff that was in the bills. Now, was that intentional because it was a bad bill? Or was it because he really wanted migrants in here and he wanted something to run on and to campaign on? Who knows? Like I said, all this stuff, we just got to wait and see because we the small guys. We the people that got to wait and see if we're going to take any blowback from the decisions that a very few amount of people make for the vast majority of us.
Like the cartels, they're like a Fortune 500 company. The Sinaloa cartels, they're in over 40 countries on the globe. Not only are they smuggling record amount of narcotics in the United States, they are now in every major city of the United States, taking over the distribution within the United States. And at the RNC, during my speech at the RNC, I echoed what President Trump has told me, that he will designate them terrorist organizations because they have killed more. The criminal cartels of Mexico have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. Did
y'all hear that? The cartel has killed more combined than any criminal organization combined. That is crazy. That is crazy. Like when I just think about this, I just always think about like the Pablo Escobar movie that they had, what is it called? Yeah, the Pablo Escobar movie. I can't think of the name that was on Netflix, and they was doing all that killing in there. And it was crazy because I was just thinking about the 80s, and they was talking about like how, like I think Philadelphia might have had like 1,900 murders that one year. New York had like 2,200 murders in the 80s. It's like we think crime is bad now, but back in the 80s and the early 90s, it was real bad. You know, drugs were real bad. Guns was getting imported into America. So when he talk about this, I agree. It need to be some tightening up of the border, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. What y'all think? Y'all think they're gonna be able to deport that many people?
9/11 times that by 100. Right. So President Trump says he's going to designate a terrorist organization and wipe them off the face of the earth because Mexico's not going to do it. Mexico's been dealing with this for 30 years. And I hate to say it, but it's just a fact. Much of the Mexican military, much of the Mexican government, they're corrupt.
I think they're corrupt. And I think America pays them to be corrupt. I think they work hand and foot. I think when it comes to drugs, just even like us going to Iraq, I heard a lot of soldiers talking about the poppy seeds over there in Iraq and heroin and stuff like that. So even though we're supposed to be going over there for terrorist attacks on the U.S. soil and trying to help people and liberate people, we over there ravishing their natural resources to make drugs. And we all know that the government work with the cartels very closely. That's how they are able to operate in America the way they do, because if they wanted to put an end to it, we got the biggest gun in the world and we don't use it. Just think about that. We got the biggest gun in the world and we don't use it. And I'm not talking about nuclear weapons. I'm talking about our military.
We know that. That's why even when I was ICE director, our vetted units, And we bet these guys ourselves that we work with down there, we didn't even tell them everything. Not every cop and soldiers is corrupt. I'm not saying that. I'm sure there's soldiers and police officers down there doing it for the right reason, but there's a lot of corruption there. And the cartels, if you're a police officer and you're,
it's bad when we got to the point where we have to give a disclaimer for our statements, and people should know what we're talking about. Like when he said it's bad, people, well, not everybody, we got to do not everybody, it's certain, people, it was a time in life people deciphered and understood that you weren't talking about everybody. Well, I grew up on this saying, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. So I understood when I seen stuff that I seen a chick talking about, well, black men do this. And I just keep strolling because I know what she's talking about. I'm not one of those black men that do it. But if I put black women, then it's a girl that's going to jump in my comment section or on my post talking about, well, you can't be talking about black women. What you do? I don't do it, but I just don't like you talk. Well, why are you here defending other black women if you don't do it? If it don't apply, let it fly. But now we have to always give disclaimers or preference our statements before we give them now, because people are so fucking sensitive.
Making, $36 a week, and the cartel comes and gives you $100,000 to let something happen. They're going to take it. I mean, many of them will. So it's going to take U.S. Special Operations, U.S. Intelligence to track these guys down, follow the money, and just same thing President Trump did to ISIS and the Caliphate. He can do it. He did that terrorist organization. He can do it to the criminal cartels, but it's going to take the United States lead to get it done. But
now, like I said, my conspiracy theory is I think both sides might have had something to do with immigration. Like I said, we know that Trump said don't pass the border bill, but also he had a lot of stuff that was already on the books that they executive order that Biden went in first day and overturned, like stay in Mexico. So like I said, I don't know. We got to wait and see. I'm not privy to any of the information that goes on in the White House. I'm out here sitting and watching and observing like everybody else. Hopefully we have good people that's about to come in to the next administration. Hopefully they are for the people. Hopefully Trump does a lot of stuff he said, like no taxing on overtime. In Alabama right now, they don't tax out overtime in Alabama, but I think it's supposed to end at the end of the year, beginning of next year. So I understand like no taxing on tips. It's a lot of stuff he said that he was going to do. And all the trans stuff. He need to end all of that. There's a lot of stuff he said he going to come in and put an end to that. I hope he does, so we can get back to regular schedule program and actually make money. A lot of stuff that he's trying to put back to the states, to me, it looks like he's trying to get rid of the tax from the federal government. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off, but when he keeps saying he's going to push everything to the state, abortion, now in the Department of Education, back to the state, it just looked like he's trying to get rid of the Fed. And when he talks about tariffs and say that tariffs can make us so much money, tariffing all of these countries to where we don't even need to tax the federal government. Like the federal government doesn't need our tax. Also making the IRS smaller. Like it's a lot of stuff that the government does over here to extort its people. And the government been extorting it. They treat the government ain't nothing but the fucking mob. It is scary that we supposed to be in the best country in the world. That's what they keep telling us and selling us. But we send billions of dollars to Ukraine to help people fight wars that can't even help us if we really got into a war. Just think about that. You're trying to build a team of people and you trade for somebody that really can't help you win. They're gonna sit on the end of the bench. If we got into a war right now, what help is Ukraine gonna give us? That's a real, like, what help is Ukraine gonna give us? None whatsoever. So when we have these conversations, they got to be real conversations. Now, I'm a person that believes in not even worried about what's going on outside of the borders of the United States. That's how I feel. That's what I believe, because we have so much stuff in America that needs to be fixed first. But I know we're supposed to be a global power where we want to take up this mantle as being the country with the biggest dick. So we have to use it from time to time because people want to see that if we still got what it takes, or if we, got low T or whatnot. But I think now we see a lot of people understanding that now that we changing presidents, like Hamas saying they doing a ceasefire over there, the stock market booming again. Like, this is a person that coming in there and got some power. But a lot of people like to say, well, under Democratic leadership, the economy does better. No, it don't, because this lady was talking about corporate taxing, And we already know if you corporate tax, that's just going to trickle down to the everyday man or woman. But like I said, when it comes to all of this immigration stuff, I just don't know how we got to the point where America just allowed people just to walk in here like this and pay them. And you know what baffled me about immigration and the main people that should have been upset? I would think black women would be the main people upset because how they be trying to be like they welfare queens and want to stay in the hood and live off the government, and you find out somebody getting $9,000. You mean to tell me you ain't upset? You mean to tell me you don't want to ride? You mean to tell me you don't want to break nothing? Because that's how I would look at it. Now we got to be real. There's a lot of people in America that's slow. Americans are slow. Like I said, they keep selling us this bad bill of good, but it's got to be better. And like I said, I hope for the sake of Americans, for the sake of us, that it gets better. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure you subscribe to all of my social media platforms. I'm on everything, and on Instagram, it's New Normal Pod 20. New Normal Pod 20. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is this right here. Now I don't know if y'all seen this, but the Venezuelans have entered Tennessee, and they're having gang wars in Tennessee. It's crazy that they brought their gang turf wars to America. How did we ever become this place that we're living in now?
The DBI says not only is a dangerous gang growing nationwide, but it's impacting every major city across Tennessee.
They have a pathway to more violence.
The DBI director, David Roush, warning Governor Bill Lee in a budget hearing Tuesday about the rising threat of a violent criminal group, Tren de Aragua.
They're back in all of our major cities. They are running human trafficking operations.
Roush says the Venezuelan gang does not
see that? That's a policeman they beating up.
Not hesitate to attack their opponents in public.
Recently, there was a video that they shot where they shot an individual, a cartel member, 31 times.
31 times. That is insane.
Broad daylight on video and posted it to social media.
Roush.
And this is a question I got to ask. What they getting cell phones from? Y'all supposed to be poor. Y'all supposed to be poor. Y'all coming up for a better life. Is that an Obama phone? We need to get rid of that too. If they got an Obama phone, get rid of the Obama phone too, because now we're giving them to migrants. Now get rid of that shit too.
Says they'll next engage in more retail theft before taking on the drug trade. These concerns we took to Governor Bill Lee.
What measures are being implemented to protect communities across Tennessee?
Well, first of all, I think that part of the reason President Trump was elected last week is because people in this country are tired of gang members from Venezuela, for example, coming across our border. And that policy change that will occur in the next few months.
So at the federal level, we know there could be changes. At the state level, are we doing anything in the meantime to tackle these issues?
Well, I think that's what that funding request hearing was about. They made requests for resources and personnel to attack particular crime issues in our state, and we'll review those budgets.
Congressman Andy Ogle says this is an issue he's been looking at very closely.
Every small town in America is a border town because of the immigration crisis.
Congressman Ogle says he's also been in contact with President-elect Donald Trump.
Hey, for a second, I knew where you got that from.
On the issue.
We will begin deporting individuals who are here. Of course, you've got to prioritize, but those who are here with violent intent.
Look at them taking over neighborhoods and apartment complexes. Where the hell y'all get these big ass guns? Like you. This is what you got to ask yourself. How do y'all come over here and meet somebody this quick to just sell y'all guns, take guns? Like they definitely had to be giving them guns after they cross the border. This is just my conspiracy theory. I think they're giving them guns, cell phones, backpacks, all of this stuff as soon as they cross the border so they can feel confident and wreak havoc to do this. After you done tricked hundreds of miles to come here, we're gonna give you some food stamps. We're gonna let you get your energy up. So we're gonna give you a place to stay. You're gonna be able to stay in this nice hotel in New York. Because I don't know if y'all knew this, but I think it was the Dodgers that went to play the Mets or the Yankees, and they had to go stay in a basic hotel because all of the upscale hotels was renting their rooms out to the migrants. So they had the baseball team, the people that's from America that play in America could not get good hotel rooms because all of the migrants occupied them in New York City. So now that you done got your health up and your strength back up, now I'm gonna give y'all some guns and y'all can go take over these apartment complexes. This is crazy that we are seeing this in real time. This is kind of looking like the Purge. If y'all think about it, if y'all watch the Purge, a lot of the stuff with these Venezuelan gangs and letting people in here just running and doing attacking police, killings, and all of this looks like the Purge. Child sex trafficking and human trafficking. I did not know people was human trafficking as much as they is. Like, I don't know what kind of weirdo shit going on. I don't know if it's a lucrative business. I don't know if they're organ harvesting. I don't know if they drinking the endocrine like they tried to say about Pizzagate and all that. It is a lot of people and kids going missing, like they talk about at the border. A lot of these kids getting separated, or they were saying that these men were bringing these children over. It would be like grown men with like little kids or little girls, but they not related. And they were, and the Biden administration, y'all can look this up, was pushing against DNA testing the father and the kid to make sure these people were related. Like the Biden administration pushed against a lot of stuff. They even pushed against Texas defending their borders. Y'all remember they sued Texas to keep their borders open. Like, why would you do that? So like I said, it's a big play. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know if they're going to be able to deport 12 to like 20-some million migrants or illegals, but this shit is crazy and it has to stop. Like, I hope y'all out there being prayed up. I hope y'all got y'all guns, especially if you stay in a state that allow you to keep your gun. You better make sure you keep that thing on you at all times. Forsaken said, I think they selling our country. I think they selling our country. I think the damn selling our country to our enemies. Oh, you out there in Texas? Oh, yeah, because you was talking about them big booty white girls y'all got out there. Forsaken said they got the freaks out there. He said they got the freaks out there. But yeah, like I said, just be careful out there because we don't know where it's coming. I'll be so scared. I think Birmingham is a sanctuary city too, which is scary for me. So next we're gonna talk about Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz backed RFK. If y'all don't know, RFK was named Secretary of Health? Is that what he just got named? And I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. They giving pushback. They don't want him to be the secretary. They talking about he's not qualified. We're gonna get into all that. We're gonna play about 3 or 4 videos pertaining to this issue. And the reason we gotta talk about it because after he talked about the yellow 5 or the red 20 or 40 or whatever these dyes is and how in other countries they're illegal and they're poisonous. If you notice, America has now officially banned these dyes because he said something about it, and they know that the Trump team has come in, and it's crazy that somebody had to put it at forefront and get in these positions for them to actually do the right thing. Let's go.
Will help our nation address the illness industrial complex that holds our health hostage. One way is to turbocharge the National Institutes of Health. I work in academic medicine. I understand the importance of the NIH, which is the main government agency that funds medical research. Now, one of RFK Jr.'s proposals is to devote half of the NIH research budget towards preventive, alternative, and holistic approaches to health.
Holistic approaches. Not all this manufactured stuff, not all these drugs they just want to make in the lab. Holistic, more, hey, your ass kind of fat, you need to go work out. Hey, you need to lift these weights to, slow down aging. Hey, you need to, you know what I'm saying? You need to jog more, get your heart rate up more. Hey, you need to be trying to have a little bit more sex, make you feel good. It's better. It's gonna feel better than these placebo or these sugar pills I'm gonna give you. Go on in there and slang that Peter whacker a little bit. You know, it got to have more holistic approaches. Like I said, because we know it's crazy that you'll get a pill and they say, yeah, it's meant for acid reflux, but then it'll say side effects: horn grow out your head, dick come out your ass, toe come out your eye. Like, it's like, what the hell? Why would I take this and you got 40 different side effects on here? But I just need to clear. It's acid reflux. I just take the acid reflux if I got to deal with all the other stuff.
The current system does not adequately research the root causes of the chronic illnesses that plague our people. This funding would answer the practical questions that you're asking in your homes, like which diets and exercises actually work best. We should also change federal regulations so that the NIH funds cannot go to researchers with conflicts of interest. Over the past decade, thousands of federally funded health researchers have reported financial conflicts of interest.
That's the biggest one for me. You should not be on this board and be in Congress and you pass stuff to help your company and you pad my pockets under the table. Like, I think those conflicts of interest are a big thing. Same thing that goes to insider trading when it comes to Congress. Ain't no way Nancy Pelosi husband supposed to be the best trader of all time. Baby, you got some information the rest of us don't. If y'all put Martha Stewart in jail, the lady that baked cakes and shit, y'all gonna put her in jail. And Martha stays silent. It's crazy that we got all these videos of these niggas that supposed to be gangsters shooting up each other and they get in interrogation rooms and be snitching like a fool. And then you got Martha Stewart, the lady that baked cakes and stuff like that. She stays silent, didn't snitch on nobody. That crazy.
We need better researched lifestyle advice from unbiased scientists, and RFK Jr. could help.
I think they have a lot of stuff that they're trying to put together, implement. And like I said, it's crazy that it takes somebody to speak up and to get in these positions. And like I said, people pad their pockets and they don't give a fuck about the American.
The nomination of RFK Jr. the chronic.
They don't care about American people whatsoever. And they okay with poisoning us, doing stuff to our children, saying things and giving us worst case practices, what they always seem to do, especially like COVID. We know that COVID, they gave us the stupidest stuff. Wear a mask for a respiratory virus. Something that's gonna restrict my breathing, but you telling me I gotta wear a mask. Stay 6 feet apart. Okay, they can stay 6 feet behind me, but they can stay within arm's reach if they on the side of me. People passing out in cars. You're closing churches. You're closing places where people need some type of refuge. You're closing schools. You're closing beaches. Beaches is a natural healer. Scientifically, if you go to the beach, it's a natural healer. The salt water, all of these different things at beaches, and when you get into the air and stuff, they've already proven it's a natural healer. They told us it didn't come from when Trump said it was the China virus. Oh, he's racist. Oh my God. But the nigga was telling the truth. Now all we see all up and down Twitter and all these social media sites, the Wuhan lab leak. It's crazy that the man said a lot of real stuff and it came to pass. He said, hey, as soon as I get out of office, y'all gas gonna rise exponentially. Sure did. Soon as I get off office, they gonna close this Keystone Pipeline, and this was gonna put America where we needed to be. Soon they got in, they closed the Keystone Pipeline. A whole bunch of men losing $100,000 a year jobs, and then we got our women in here. Yeah, we more educated and make more money than y'all. Well, bitch, you ain't out here trying to work on this oil rig and do all this stuff. Where I really make more money than you, but now they closing jobs to where I got to go home and argue with my bitch now because they didn't close the Keystone Pipeline. I got to find something else to do. So, like I said, I try to say like this. I ain't a Trump stan, but the man said a lot of stuff, and then it came to pass.
We're learning now in the data that it was suburban moms who actually found what Robert F. Kennedy was saying so interesting. We said at the beginning of the program that, look, you can see a guy who is a vaccine conspiracy theorist, vaccine questioner, whatever you want to say, who kills bears.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all like the video, share the video, make sure y'all subscribe to, hit the bell to get all my videos and notifications when I go live. Thank you very much.
Or you can see a guy who's a champion for health. I see you putting your hands up. I'm going to let you answer. How and what is incumbent upon Robert F. Kennedy to not allow that narrative to take hold?
Well, it is incumbent upon everybody to continue to pressure the press. I wonder if he doesn't sue the press for slander, because he's fully vaxxed, his family's fully vaxxed. He has no vaccine denialism. He wants vaccines subjected to the same scientific rigor as all the other medication.
And that makes sense. It should not be a thing where I put in my body and let my health be up to you. And this is why I say Americans are dumb, because we put our lives in so many other people's hands, so much so we just don't even think about the everyday stuff that we do. We ain't talking about the spin off with the vaccines. And I got to ask you a question. Just think about getting into a car, driving every day. You could be going 100 miles an hour on the freeway and a wheel pop off, an axle break. You just put your faith in a person, in a plant, and people in a plant that hopefully they didn't come to work hard today. Hopefully they knew what they was doing when they put these bolts on there. Hopefully, they cared enough to say, hey, I'm gonna make sure I do it right. And my boss didn't piss me off today to where I just putting it together so they can have wrecks and get sued and stuff like that. We put our faith in so many other people, airplanes. Like we just so gullible, and we just go about our day and our life without asking questions. I knew Americans were dumb when they didn't want to ask more questions. And then I knew it was even dumber because so many people, we had people telling us the same shit when it came to asking questions as the news media. You shouldn't question that. Don't say it is. Don't say that. Nigga, why aren't you? You're not scared. You're not worried. You're just going to go along. You're just going to put the mask on. You're just going to take 27 boosters. Like your vaccine, if you take a vaccine, supposed to make my vaccine work better. Like, are you listening to what's going on?
And they're
people
not.
like me are allowed by the FDA to bring to market. So we could use these things. As it is an entirely different operation with no liability to speak of. And there may be really significant problems with these vaccines. At least we should be able to ask the questions. I'm not a vax denier. Everybody's fully vaxxed in my practice. But when I give my patients informed consent, I have to include in that these things have not been tested the way I would be satisfied to really give them a clear understanding.
And another thing is, when they ask them to even just show the data, show the data of what you've got from these tests and these trials. Show the data. Show the actual VAERS. That's what we need to see. How many vaccine injuries is there? And if this so foolproof, then why can't we sue you? If everybody else can be sued, why can't we sue you? This is a real question that somebody got to ask. They believe in the media on TikTok. So many, like I said, they believe a lot of dumb shit. And it's scary that we let a lot of people who believe this get away with believing all of this dumb stuff that we got going on nowadays. So next we're gonna talk about Tucker Carlson. Now Tucker Carlson out here, and he's asking questions that I think most people should ask, and I'm glad that he is. Oh, hold on, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna go back to here real quick. This is another video I wanted to play. I forgot about real quick. This
HHS.
This was a perfect question that this Scott Jennings guy, he's been doing good work. I like that they got him on CNN. It actually makes me watch CNN a little bit more since they got him on there.
If we're being intellectually honest, there's really no good reason why Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., should be HHS secretary. An advisor, a confidant, somebody who talks to the president and advises, but there's no managerial experience in his resume. There's nothing that says he is qualified to do this job that is in charge of the health of all of us, all these different lanes. If he has views and has insights around food sources, around vaccines, then those should be given in advisory roles.
Why?
Because
what were the qualifications of the previous ones?
Well, I think it's important to always remember that you put yourself. Say that again.
What were the management qualifications? qualification. I mean, Xavier Becerra.
I'm not.
Gotcha, bitch. How you people love saying this person's not qualified, and then you run down the list of all the other people that weren't qualified. Now all of a sudden, everybody got to be qualified because you don't like the picker or the person who did the picking. Now everybody got to be qualified, huh? Hell, let's be real. Trump wasn't qualified to be president. Did y'all listen to his Joe Rogan interview? Basically, he said, when I got in there, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I did not know what I was doing. I was Stevie Wonder in the White House.
Talking about the previous. I'm looking forward.
But you're calling into question whether he could actually do this job, and I think it's
absolutely. I think America is now, and I think
it's important to discuss it because Xavier Becerra was just a lawyer and a politician with no management experience.
So does two negatives, two wrongs make a right?
Sylvia Burwell was a Walmart lobbyist. Donna Chalet.
The boy said the two wrongs make a right. When they start giving you childish rebuttals, you know you got them. If I could run off a list of 6 people that really weren't qualified to do this job, and all of a sudden you want to ask why and talk about RFK not being qualified and Scott being out here, I promise you, Scott, from what I've been seeing, he's going to have a bigger life or a bigger career outside of CNN because it ain't where, typically when you watch CNN, it's nothing but amen corner. Yeah, you're right. Go, you're right. Trump is a racist fascist. Trump is a sexist. Trump do be grabbing them by the pussy. And it be men on there. Yeah, he grabs them by the pussy. And I'm like, me when he said it, I'm like, ain't we all grabbed some pussy before? Like, that's how what I thought. Like, hey, it ain't nothing wrong with grabbing some pussy. But then I had to tone it down because I said, okay, this is 2015, 2016. Times are changing. Men want to grab men by the dick, so I get it. I understand. Some of y'all want to take what Dave Chappelle long ganders at the anus. That's what Dave Chappelle said Michael Jackson liked to look. Then some of y'all want to be like Michael Jackson so bad. Y'all don't take the long.
Layla was a university
long ganders at the ass.
Person. Look,
RFK Jr. is a nut.
The fact. Okay, so that's different than what you just said. You just said he doesn't possess the requisite managerial experience. But then we get to the real issue here, which is you want to insult the man, which is your right to do because you opposed him in the election. But you, doctor, are raising the issues that he has been raising, and I think they're appropriate questions to raise. I don't know whether he can be confirmed or not. The vaccine stuff at the table is obviously going to be the flashpoint of this hearing. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you one thing. This whole issue of the CDC and these public health agencies, look, public trust in the health regime in this country.
Hey, I love Mike. I just was just making a joke. I love you. I know Mike is one of my favorite artists, but that's what Dave Chappelle said in the documentary. And I ain't even watched the documentary because I was like, they full of shit when it come to Mike. Mike ain't touched them damn kids, but that's neither here nor there.
Is as low as it's ever been.
But why?
It's because of COVID,
right?
Because of school closures, because of mask mandates, because this country was because let me just finish. Because this country was drugged through a bunch of condescending and heavy-handed mandates that all turned out to be garbage, and that's why it's low. And the questions are valid.
And RFK is the answer to all of that.
Yeah,
but so stupid. He gonna say an RFK is the answer to all that. No, bitch. We talking about the health. But y'all ask why the trust is so low, and that's why my show is talking about America being untrustworthy and why America and Americans is losing trust in our government because our government allow people. And we already know the people that own CNN and all of these Fox News channels, even Fox News, all of them are owned by like 5 corporations that are all working in tandem with like the CIA and the government. So when they get on here and spew even the most boldest lies and not even worry about the ramifications or the repercussions of being sued, that should just let you know what time it is. Excuse me. That should just let you know what time it is and how people really feel about America and how they feel about you. Because if they can lie blatantly to your face and you can go back and see what Trump said. If they say, yeah, Trump keeps saying there was verifying people on both sides, and you can go and really watch what he said and just give it 40 seconds later. And he said, I condemn neo-Nazis and white supremacists. But furthermore, if you do real research, the man told us in the 90s, before he even decided to run for president, hey, I ain't fucking with the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists. He told this is back in the 90s. So what are we even talking about? And like I said, I know the racism, they got to keep the black people down. And you know what's crazy? Joe Biden, Donald Trump, 2020, running for president, and they telling us, you got black people telling us that we racist for voting for Donald Trump, or we a coon, a jigaboo, we be boot scooting and boogieing and all this type of stuff by other black people because we voted for a different white man that they voted for. Think about that. You vote. Joe Biden got on the Breakfast Club, and this needs to always be said. That's how you know Charlemagne the God is paid opposition. That man got on there and told Charlemagne, if you don't know whether or not you want to vote for me, you ain't black. Now, how do you let a white man get on here and question your black card? I just think, and this is, I believe this to be true too. Lee said, just think the land of the free and the home of the brave is the main USA marketing scheme. It definitely is. My homeboy, shout out to the date master. That nigga say, hey, you can't even leave your house without spending no money. America ain't nothing but a business. You leave the house, you're going to spend some money. And it's crazy that it's like that. You get in the car, drive somewhere, you got to spend some gas. Go to the mall, go to the store. If you might catch a flat tire, now you got to get your tire fixed. Let's say your car break down, now you got to get it towed. Like America is set up to always be a revolving door where you got to spend some money. You know, and it's sad that it's like that, but it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be the America that we're living in. So let's talk about this. Tucker Carlson, he on the vaccines. Now look, I'm gonna tell y'all, my kids ain't vaccinated, right? Put that out there. And a lot of people don't know you can get a religious exemption. Shout out to the date master. He's the one that said that every time you leave the house, you're gonna spend some money. Y'all make sure y'all go and follow that page, his page right now. He got great content over there. Make sure y'all go follow it right now. I'm telling y'all gonna be thoroughly entertained, and y'all gonna get some game, and he helped y'all get laid. Y'all gonna love it over there. But anyways, what I was about to say is, you want to talk about Tucker Carlson. My kids ain't vaccinated, but it's not because I'm necessarily a vaccine denier, because I'm pretty sure my mama said she let them stick me all in the ass, whatever kind of vaccine they wanted to stick me with, because that's how they grew up and they just thought it was okay. Nobody questioned anything, because we grew up with some people that were, you know, my parents' generation, they were kind of smart a little bit, but when it come to like science and shit, they were stupid, because that's how you get like a generation that agreed to get experimented on, like Tuskegee experiment and shit like that. That's in my home state. That's only 2 hours away from here, and it, niggas are still to this day, you can look this up, still feeling the effects of Tuskegee experiment. And that's why when it came to this COVID shit and this vaccine shit, I was like, hey niggas, do y'all remember they did this thing called the Tuskegee experiment? And I'm talking about in my state, like 2 hours away from Birmingham, they did this to us 2 hours away. What are y'all doing? That's we still seeing the effects of that to this day. So much so, when I was in high school, 2008, I was in high school. They have STD vans outside of these predominantly big high schools, predominantly black in Birmingham, and they are testing people because they're having syphilis outbreaks every 3 years. Not bullshitting y'all. Every 3 years, they're having syphilis outbreaks, and they got trucks in front of the high schools, because you can look it up. Most of your STDs, a lot of your new cases of STDs is by high school kids, especially like syphilis, gonorrhea, and trick. So it's about like high school kids. So when you they was put them in front of the schools so kids can come in there and get tested without, because the outbreak was bad. Like it was bad. Like Huffman had it 1 year, then the other year was like Woodlawn, or 2 years later they'd be like Woodlawn got a syphilis outbreak. Like you'll go to school or go to Walmart and see people with green crest in their eye. Like, damn baby, you don't let them skeet it in your face. I mean, I ain't supposed to say that. But yeah, we finna talk about what Tucker Carlson had to say. But yeah, like I said, black people just don't question stuff, and we've actually have been through that. Y'all look at this right here. Real quick. Now, this is the Secretary of Health that we got now. It's a man in a dress compared to RFK. And y'all mean to tell me we talking about qualifications? This is a loan. Are we talking about this is the Secretary of Health, and this is a person that's a man that think he's a woman? That's a man that think he a woman. And y'all gonna tell me RFK ain't qualified? Come on now. This can't be the life we living. This cannot be the life that we live in. But I know y'all want to be okay with people thinking that they men in dresses. They like to chop off their penises and throw it against the wall. You know, it's weird, but to each his own. So Tucker Carlson sat down with some people and he want to talk about vaccines. Let's go.
Jury in Michigan just awarded a woman fired for not taking the vax millions of dollars. And I hope that that is a nationwide trend where everyone whose life was destroyed in that fit of lies and hysteria is made whole. I really hope so. And I do hope that Congress can immediately strip the blanket immunity from the vaccine makers.
They need to. What you wish they would have called out? Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all subscribe on all pages. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, the Cash App is at the bottom, or y'all can hit that super chat.
Don't understand that. I've sold products my whole life. I mean, imagine you have a product, you convince politicians to force the population to buy your product. Anyone who complains gets fired, and you can't be sued. I'm sorry. And I'm not attacking vaccines, by the way. I'm sure there are fine vaccines. I don't know. I'm not taking any of them, but it's okay if other people do.
See, that's how people do the bullshit. I ain't taking them. It's okay if you do. I'm not taking them. I'm not a vaccine denier. But if you want to be a dumbass, that's kind of like, y'all know this, if you black watching this, you know, when you tell somebody old or something and they be like, oh, bless your heart. That's kind of the same thing he just did. Oh, bless your heart.
I'm not mad about people taking vaccines. I'm not mad about vaccines.
Or when you be in love with somebody and they do you wrong and you tell your granny what happened and she say, it ain't that much love in the world.
But that's a scam. And anyone who says it's not a scam can just explain to me how it's not a scam. How is that not a scam? You're not allowed to sue. You can sue anybody for anything in this country. Anything. That's why we don't have playgrounds anymore. Because people have made remember merry-go-rounds? Remember those? Is anyone old enough to remember a merry-go-round? They don't exist. They were awesome. I have like 10 friends who have fewer teeth than they were born with because of merry-go-rounds.
Hey, hey, this is some real shit. So in high school, there's a video going around. This dude had a dirt bike and he put the back wheel, he laid the dirt bike on the side and he put it on the side of the merry-go-round and people got on it and they hit that bitch like they were just they would spin the merry-go-round real fast and everybody flew off the merry-go-round. Also, I seen another podcast and the dude was like, you notice that kids don't be having cast on anymore? I said, damn, I ain't never thought about it. He was like, yeah, the kids don't have cast on anymore. He said, just think about when we grew up, and he's around my age, I'm 36. He said, he had a lot of kids with cast on. They was outside riding bikes, jumping out jungle gyms, breaking arms and legs and stuff. He said, now you don't see kids with no cast on. I was like, damn, he's right. You don't see kids with cast on, but you also don't see kids outside. You don't see bikes in front yards. You don't see kids drinking out of water hoses anymore. A lot of these kids is, fat, chubby. You can't really make out if they're a boy or a girl. You got to wait till they hit puberty. If they hit puberty, depending on what they put in our food, or if they parent is some woke joke. That's what I'm gonna call them woke jokes. And they decide to get their children puberty blockers. Like I said, we don't know what's going on nowadays.
But they have stronger spirits because they were great. They don't exist anymore because the trial bar decided we're going to get rich suing merry-go-round makers and people who were nice enough to build playgrounds. It's like so many good things in American life have been eliminated by the greed of the trial bar. By the way, next time in the Caribbean, go down to the yacht basin, wherever you are, it doesn't matter what island you are, and look at the biggest boats and just ask like the boat guys and the the matching polo shirts with the yacht names on them. Like, what does the owner of this boat do for a living? And just keep a list of how many of them are trial lawyers. Like a lot. It was the tobacco settlement.
Dog law. Top dog law.
Better
call Saul.
Justice or whatever. It was talcum powder or whatever case they were. And I'm not attacking
mesothelioma.
All lawyers, though I want to, because I do hate them with a passion. But even if I liked lawyers, I would say, how is it that there's this one category that's exempt from the risk that all the rest of us who are involved in any kind of business face? I have liability insurance on my house in case the UPS guy slips delivering a package from Amazon. But
just think about that. We got companies that's trillion dollar companies that's immune to being sued. But you as a regular day individual, and they know that most people live in check to check, don't have $1,000 in savings in case of an emergency at their household, will allow people to sue you and your insurance company. And you can get sued if you don't have insurance. But you mean tell me people that got billions of dollars are immune from being sued? That is crazy when you think about it.
Somehow Albert Bourla and all the other creepy billionaires who run these disgusting pharma companies are in no danger of being sued because their corrupt pals in Congress in 1986 gave them blanket immunity? Like, let's tear that down immediately. Oh, well, we can't compete. Well, why don't you just make a safer vaccine then? How's that sound? Why don't you face the same risk that every other person who conducts any other kind of commerce or lives in this country faces every single day? Oh, we can't. Oh, shut up. Go away. And so that's the first thing. I don't even know how I got off on that, but I'm so mad about it. It's so crazy. And that no one can say anything about it. And it's like, oh, you're against science. No, I'm not against science at all. I wish we practiced it in this country. I do.
I heard that shade. I wish we practiced science in this country. I wish we practiced science in this country. Y'all know they told us that humans naturally aren't meat eaters because our intestines. Like, that's something that we literally learned in science. That humans aren't meat eaters because our intestinal tract is so damn long that it's not meant to break down any type of meat. That's what they told us. That's why you have to cook the meat, because you don't even have the gut health to break down all the parasitic stuff that's inside of meat that you eat. Like, one of the things that's the worst thing to eat is bear meat. It has a lot of parasites in it. And so I've been seeing a lot of people telling people how to cook it lately, because so many people have been indulging in eating bear meat lately, which is weird. Like, humans just want to eat anything. I guess that'll taste good with some honey mustard or some barbecue sauce. I'm gonna try that bear. Like, it's weird. We all learned this in science. I don't know if y'all paid attention. They said people with sharp teeth, fangs, your lions, your tigers, your bears, was meant for killing, puncturing, and ripping. Teeth like ours that's flat was meant for grazing on like plants, vegetables, fruits, shit like that. The reason, this is all science now, but we don't practice science, but they give us, we got a whole aisle of meat that they cook, and then they give food coloring, and they put it in plastic so it won't go bad so quick. Crazy, I know.
Actually believe in science. And if, by the way, if you believe in science, let's see the numbers. Let's see the numbers right now. You know what I mean? Social Security has the numbers. We know a lot about.
Hey, on the New Normal podcast, we do not condone stepfathers forsaking. I don't care how many fine women it is at school. They're only recreational use only. We do not condone it, because we gotta make these women lay in the bed that they made, but they bed that they lay in always seem to be a little bit more comfortable than the bed that you make as a man. Remember that her bed is going to be a lot more comfortable than your bed that you make as a man. So that's why we got to make sure that we put them on the same playing field. We do not condone being a stepfather.
Who was injured, who took it, who didn't, about the trials that are all sealed. Like, I'll just say this and I'll stop. If you want to restore honesty to government, if you want to get rid of corruption, there's a very simple way to do that, and it's with transparency. It's allowing people to know what their government is doing with their money in their name. And if you can't know, if somehow you're being prevented from knowing, then you can be absolutely certain that crimes are being committed. Because why else would they be hiding it from you?
I 100% agree. Why are you hiding your tests? Why are you hiding your trials? Why are you hiding anything that I need to watch and research? Why are you telling me about how many people got injured? Why aren't you telling me how many people were actually in this trial? Like Trump said some real shit, and everybody know this. When y'all be doing polls, why I've never been asked for polls? Trump said I'm almost 80 years old, and I don't know nobody that has ever been questioned about a poll. Same thing when they say we just need people to come sign up, because I know y'all have heard the commercials that come on the radio and stuff. I know very few people listen to it, but sometimes UAB, one of the best hospitals in America, is in my city, right? And so UAB will run a commercial, and the last commercial they had, they say if you are a lesbian and you lick on vagina and you date another lesbian and she licks on your vagina and y'all bump coochies, we would like to run some tests because there's this new thing that's going around, and we're trying to see is it more frequent in lesbians, or is it something that's just going around, you know, in America? Like that was a real commercial. I'm paraphrasing, but that was a real commercial. I still haven't heard of any lesbians taking this test, just like I never heard anybody that said, well, yeah, you know, I went to these, you know, control test groups where they, you know, pricked my arm and, you know, tried to wait and see if my eyeball was going to turn red or green or something. Like, I still don't know. Nobody that signed up for these trials. So show us the people that y'all said that y'all actually had in these trials, or y'all just did it on monkeys. And speaking of monkeys, did y'all see, I think in South Carolina, they said 40 monkeys got loose? Let me look this up. Let me look it up real quick. I think they said 40 monkeys got loose. I'll take that back. 43 monkeys that got loose, which is scary. And it's scary. In South Carolina. In South Carolina. That's scary. It's a 43 monkeys. Oh, let me exit out of this. 43 monkeys escaped South Carolina research facility. Police will warn residents to secure doors and windows. Authorities in South Carolina on Thursday warned residents to lock their doors and windows after more than 40 monkeys escaped from a research facility as of Friday morning. The fugitive monkeys said have not been captured. The CEO of the research facility told CBS News the 43 primates broke loose from an alpha Genesis facility in Beaufort County, prompting officials to set up traps and use thermal imaging cameras in an effort to locate and capture the monkeys. The Yamasee Police Department said in an update posted on social media late Thursday. Police said the primates have been spotted in a wooded region in the facility and urged residents to steer clear of the animals. The staff of Alpha Genesis are currently attempting to entice the animals back using food in order to ensure their safe capture, police said. Man, if y'all don't go and shoot them, y'all better harambe them monkeys. Alpha Genesis earlier confirmed that 43 Rahimis macaw primates, I don't know how you say that, macaw primates escaped from an enclosure at the company's facility. Authorities said the primates were very young females weighing approximately 67 pounds and had never been used for testing due to their age. Do y'all believe that? Y'all got 43 monkeys that y'all can't run no tests, so y'all just keeping them in there. That don't even make sense. Residents are strongly advised to keep doors and windows secure to prevent the animals from entering homes, police said earlier. If you spot any of the escaped animals, please contact 911 immediately and refrain from approaching them. Westergaard, CEO of Alpha Genesis, told CBS News on Friday that while they have not captured any of the animals, the monkeys are staying close to the facility and are being goofy monkeys jumping back and forth, playing with each other. It's kind of like playground like a playground situation. He said, Westergaard said the company has put the bait traps, but the monkeys are not going inside them yet. They're jumping back and forth, taking the food, and then jumping back up on the fence and the tree line, he added. They're watching us the same way we're watching them. Y'all taking this shit too light for me. Y'all taking this too light for me. Like, this is what's going on in America. We got monkeys escaping. We already had the Wuhan lab. They told us that one real. And they told us that came from a bat. They told us that came from a bat. Americans, we are stupid. I told y'all, just even getting in a car, we just let somebody else, a motherfucker that smoked dope, a geeker, put tires on the car, and we just get it and like, okay. Oh, I got the new Hellcat. They big go 800 miles an hour. And wonder why you see so many Hellcat wrecks on the road. Yeah, he didn't calibrate the suspension right. You thought you could handle it. So did y'all see the Polymart? This is another thing I want to talk about. Did y'all see the Polymart thing? So if you don't know, Polymart is where you could have bet on the election. They raided the house of the guy, the CEO of Polymart. Which is crazy. They raided the house of the guy that does Polymart. You shouldn't just be able to raise somebody's shit just because they betted on the election. Now he made it, and y'all should have stopped it before it happened. But now y'all wanna do something?
Y'all remember when Joe Rogan said that Elon Musk knew the results of the election 4 hours before it happened because of an app? Well, the person who made the app just had a visit by the FBI. And I hate the New York Post, so here's Rudder. And yeah, they raided his home and took his stuff. Federal law enforcement agents raided downtown New York home of Polymarket CEO Shane Copeland on Wednesday. That's today. The early morning raid of Copeland's Soho apartment followed last week's presidential election, in which bettors on Polymarket, an offshore crypto field election gambling website, had for weeks put Donald Trump's odds drastically higher than those of Vice President Kamala. In sharp divergence from opinion polls, which this sentence caught my eye because when I was Googling this, every poll about the election, including the one on Polymarket, said that Trump had a low percentage of winning. However, just a few weeks ago and before the election, there was a mysterious donation of $30 million betting on Trump. They said the surge might be a mirage, but it wasn't because he won, which is just so strange because, again, many election polls said that he had a very low chance of winning. And then a few weeks ago, he gets a donation and then he wins. What? But again, I don't believe anything until it's in my face and it's happening for sure. I'm just reading the article. What do y'all think? Because I don't know what's going on anymore. I have a slither of hope, but again, that sliver is nothing. You're going to have to prove it to me.
I think we're all there in America. If you're a person, I listened to this Chinese lady a few years back. She was like, in China, we don't even listen to the news. We know they're trying to persuade us to do what the government says, but it's China. Like you would think, okay, China. Like I want to say what Lee said. They trick us with that home of the free land of the brave shit. They make us think that we free over here, but we really living in assimilation. They got us doped up on fear. They got us, most of us, programmed. And like I said, that's why they're trying to aim for our kids now, because after you already went through that public school system, you've already been indoctrinated. They already got you bamboozled in thinking. And like I said, most people after they then got kids, they working, they're doing their everyday activities as an adult. They ain't got time to re-educate themselves or reprogram themselves to learn something new or to think something new. That's why they can be out here and put this news out and be lying and don't have to worry about the ramifications or the repercussions of them lying, because they know that so many people ain't finna go back and actually fact check or research. And then most people research to confirm what they believe instead of looking from both sides of the aisle. So like when I research something, if I'm looking at something about the board, I'm trying to look at what the Democrats got to say. I'm trying to look at what the Republicans got to say. I'm trying to see what the Independent got to say. I'm trying to see all these different news sources of what they got to say. And then I make an inference or a conclusion on my own on what I think. But some people just look like, if you're trying to say, oh, did Trump shut down the border? They'll go to Google, did Trump shut down the border bill? And then it'd be yes, right? But then it could say on the other side is, why did Trump shut down the border bill? You could say, well, Trump thought X, Y, and Z about the border bill. And you might say, that makes sense, because we know they got this thing. I know a lot of people know this. They got this thing called pork that be in a lot of these bills. It says a lot of pork in the bill that we don't want to agree to. We don't want that money to be allocated to X, Y, and Z. So yeah, this bill might have stopped the migrants from coming in, but I got executive orders already in place. Joe Biden then turned them over. And then another thing, when it comes to that bill, I'm gonna keep telling y'all, it baffles me and blow my mind that they say that he ran on this, but he wasn't even a president. This is the 2021. He was out of office and he told him not to pass a bill. And 7 Democrats also voted against the bill. So I'm like, why do y'all think Donald Trump got this much power to veto y'all bill or tell people not to go for y'all bill when y'all got all the power in the world? Y'all had the House and the Senate during that time too. He's seeing Sean Christie kids turn into atheists because of debate class. Like I said, I see so I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I starting to like X. X is pretty good. And the reason I like X, watch this stupid shit right here, y'all. So I'll be seeing stupid stuff and people be thinking they be making points, but actually they be shooting themselves in the foot. So we finna play this video right here. And the reason we finna play this video, because it's this man, I'm guessing he probably the boss and probably own this company. And I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts after we watch this video right here.
This is a message to Donald Trump. Hey, Trump, you see all these folks behind me, all hardworking Mexican Americans? I know we all look alike to you, but these folks were born and raised here and
ain't no way Donald Trump think all y'all look alike.
Working hard to make our economy grow. And the migrants that sometimes come alongside and work with these folks, whether it's this industry or the meatpacking or any other, they're here because they know how to work. You've never worked a day in your life, and you don't know what it takes to build this country. So you can take your work site raids that you and Tom Holman want to do and go shove them up your ass. Because at the end of the day, our economy is driven by people like this and by migrants and by so many others that simply want to come out here and come into this country and do well for themselves and their families.
So this is why I say people shoot themselves in the foot, the shit they say. First of all, I'm pretty sure you're over that site. Secondly, you're probably excited that migrants come and help because you probably get the job done faster. You probably got incentives. And the reason that I know this is because I used to work for a concrete company before I got my job now called Sherman Industries. Sherman Industries is owned by Heidelberg. Heidelberg is one of the biggest concrete companies in the world. It's like a $50 billion company, right? So one thing contractors used to tell us, and this is just from my experience, contractors used to tell us that we get extra incentives if we get to pour this concrete and meet certain deadlines. So they'll have incentives. If you, let's say you're going to get paid $100,000 on the 6th, on November the 6th to complete this order. But if you complete it by November the 3rd, it might be another $10,000 in there. So when you have migrants come and help you out, you probably get a chance to finish this work faster. Also, with the migrants coming to help you out, you probably pay, I know you're going to pay the migrants a lot cheaper to do this job than you're going to pay the ones that are actual American citizens or got their green card that's working for you. So now you're shooting yourself in the foot. Now you're telling the people and the government that you are employing illegal immigrants to work for you, which is an illegal thing to do. Just like when they raided that chicken coop, that chicken plant in Mississippi, and they had 230 illegal immigrants working over there. Like, no, you cannot have that. And they put people in jail, them the bosses and stuff in jail, because y'all know y'all can't, it's illegal to hire people. And that's why we get this whole thing of paying illegals under the table. Thirdly, I don't know what I'm on now, because this shit is so stupid. You can't stop them coming through there with the National Guard or the army to run them Mexicans or the illegals off if they wanted to. What you gonna do? Gonna spray some concrete in their face? No, you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna pick up no gun. You're not gonna do nothing. You're just gonna be upset and you're just gonna be mad because they didn't cut your workforce and it made you pay more for the workers that you got to have. Like I said, people just be saying stuff and thinking they're going to go on this performative activism or these what they say, virtue signaling to try to act like you ain't racist, but you probably just as racist as the other people out here. That's probably why you got the Mexicans working for you, because you know when the white boys probably going to come out there and deal with that concrete. Every time I bagged my truck up when I poured concrete, it was nothing but Mexicans. A white dude that was over it, and number of Mexicans pouring the concrete. It was never no black people out there. It was never no white people out there. The only white person that was out there was the dude that owned the company. Everybody else was Mexican. I'm pretty sure you was probably paying some illegals that when I bagged up out there. So, like I said, when we having these conversations, we gotta have real conversations, and we gotta be honest. I know why y'all trying to do this. Now you gotta. I know why you want to virtue signal, because now you didn't put that out there. Now you didn't send a beacon like the Batman sign in the sky, so more illegals can come help you pour concrete that you ain't got to pay the number $2 an hour. That's what you really want. You want more people to see, hey, the white man over there, he paying $2 an hour. We need to go pour some concrete. And y'all know something, pouring concrete is some labor intensive shit. It's not easy. It's not an easy job at all, unless you got the big screener out there. They got these big machine that people sit on, and it screens the concrete that makes it level. They use lasers and stuff like that. Those things are amazing, but they cost so much. So they still, most people, I probably seen 2 jobs with this. So it's like some new technology stuff. Like I said, but robots are replacing people. Like this machine literally will replace like 10 people on your workforce in a concrete job. And like I said, it's so expensive, and like it levels out, it got lasers a whole, it's like it's pretty cool. Like the technology aspect of it is pretty cool. But then when you watching, it's like, dang, like I see why you got 3 people out here working, because you don't need 25 people out here to pour this whole school foundation, because this machine does what 10 people do at one time, and way faster, way efficient, and it makes it smooth. It does all this stuff at one swipe. So now, like I said, this guy, he think he's helping. He's virtue signaling, performative activism, all of this type of stuff. It ain't helping. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. And like I said, more people probably will come to get a job to get paid $2 an hour, and you're gonna feel good about yourself at the end of the day. But when Tom and motherfucking Donald Trump come through that bitch and start deporting people, you ain't gonna be able to stop it if they decide to actually deport people. You ain't gonna be able to stop it. Oh, this is another thing I need to talk about too. So I'm gonna start doing a segment.
The St. Helens School Board to resign.
I don't know what I'm gonna call this segment, but I'm gonna start doing this segment. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, but it's gonna be like who I probably gonna call it who got the teacher pussy now, or something like that. It's gonna be on the lines of that, because these teachers is running crazy over these kids. They be sledding these kids out. And
In more than 20 years of reporting, I've never seen a community rise up against a school board with more anger, outrage, and contempt. They're calling for everyone on the St. Helens School Board to resign. One of the teachers in question is accused of sexually abusing students for several years, and they want to know why he was allowed to teach at school for the first 2 months of the school year while he was under investigation. And for this community, it's just the latest case involving teachers or coaches accused of preying on their children.
No outburst. We're giving you time to speak. Let us speak.
In St. Helens, the school board meeting was contentious from the start.
Respect our kids in school. One more burst, you'll be asked to be removed.
I'm sorry, but you can remove a parent, but you can't remove a teacher?
I agree. I'm with her. Y'all can't remove a teacher that's been accused of sexual assault or somebody, but we get in here, y'all want to remove teachers? Come on now. And see, move parents. And see, this is where, listen to me, it's about maybe 100 people in this room, maybe a little bit more. It's about 10 people sitting behind the desk. The time for diplomacy has been long over with all of these school districts. The time for being tactful, the time for, having proper protocols and going to city council meetings and voicing your opinion, all of that is out the window. If you are a parent and your child has been molested and these school systems still allow these teachers to go in here, it's time to pick up some guns. Yes, these are times where I would say I would be calling for something, but I'm not going to say it on YouTube because they're going to say I might have incited something. But it's too many parents in here for y'all not to be stumping the mud hole in all of these city councilmen or board leaders or officials or superintendents. It's too many of y'all in here for y'all not to be jumping everybody. They can't take all y'all to jail. They ain't taking all y'all to jail. And I can tell it's got to be a small place because y'all look like y'all in a barn. It's got to be a small little country school or something because it look like y'all in a barn. So all of that, we got to go and voice our opinion, and we got to wait on it, and abiding by the no. They've been playing with kids too long. Pun intended. They've been playing with kids too long and letting a lot of stuff go on. All of y'all there should have been beating the shit out of all of them people sitting behind the desk that can make things move. Y'all need to be pulling up to their houses. Y'all need to be flattening their tires. Y'all need to make their lives a living hell if they're gonna play with y'all children like that.
Anger and frustration from every parent here after police arrested 2 teachers on Tuesday accused of sexually abusing students.
I am so angry about this. Furious.
Community members demanded action from the school board after they say they stood by for years as teachers in question abused kids, and accusations were ignored. They noted one of the accused, a 46-year-old choir teacher named Eric Stearns. Police arrested him Tuesday after a 2-month investigation. In court Wednesday, Stearns pleaded not guilty to charges that he sexually abused 6 different students between 2015 and January of this year. To many parents here, words from Superintendent Scott Stockwell rang hollow.
Our first and foremost commitment has always been the well-being and safety of our students, and the news has been devastating for all of us.
Board members acknowledged that they knew Stearns had been under police investigation since September, but allowed him to keep teaching until his arrest.
So do any of you guys have anything to say to the parents, to the victims?
We've made statements, and
Parents, including the mom of an alleged victim, say the board's willful inaction goes much deeper than that.
We also had police reports, and I talked to the principal, and she brushed it off like it was nothing.
Former State Senator Rachel Armitage also took board members to task.
I want to know why this educator was allowed to cause harm to students for an additional 8 years, as well as apparently several others.
This week, police also arrested a second St. Helens teacher on abuse allegations, 64-year-old Mark Collins, who's now retired. His charges include 2 counts of sexual abuse in the second degree.
Aren't we tired of this as parents? Aren't y'all tired of this as parents? And the school system, the school is just getting underway. Well, they've been in school 2 months now. It is going to get crazy and more outlandish, the stories that we hear. I was watching Thomas Sotomayor's show the other day, and he was doing a video about a teacher who knew she was under investigation for sexually assaulting a kid. She in the slow, she's I think was like a teacher that was over the slow class. This woman knew she was under investigation and then continued to have sex with this 13-year-old boy and told everybody she was obsessed with him, and they had to investigate her, but she admitted to having sex with this boy.
And parents here say there are more teachers and coaches their kids have raised alarms over. They say only to be rebuffed by school and district officials. On this night, they said, it stops now.
You need to step down. You need to take accountability.
Step down? Y'all need to beat them down. That's why they continue to do what they do, because y'all asking and pleading and trying to be nice, respectful, nice citizens. I get it. Y'all don't want to go to jail. You don't want to hurt nobody, but these are y'all kids. And they know right now they have beat parents down so much that parents don't even feel like they should even go and put themselves in position to even die for their children. I look at animal videos all the time. When a threat arises for that cub, that mama is willing to die for her children. Fight out 5-6 hyenas, and she the only one there trying to protect 6 cubs. Come on now. And y'all mean to tell me y'all need to resign? No. Y'all need to, somebody should have went in there with a brick and threw it upside somebody's head. Some daddies should have got they rifles and they pistols and went to somebody's house. It's time out for all this being tactful, nice, diplomatic, all of that, all of these. No, it need to go back to January. Everything need to be handled with a January 6th type fist. If it come to y'all, especially y'all kids, hey, y'all mean to tell me y'all riding the Capitol, but when it come to y'all kids, y'all ain't going to these boards and these school districts when they have you keep hiring these predators and letting this go on, and y'all ain't making a riot. Y'all ain't tearing down these school systems. Y'all ain't making people quit. Ain't no asking y'all need to step down. No, you gonna step down, or we gonna be at your house. You better not have no kids there, because we might need to have to hurt your children, because we need to do some eye for eye, because a lot of these people get in these positions, get comfortable, get their bellies full, and they don't want to do anything. A lot of people like comfortable positions where they can get money and not have to do anything, and then they build up these relationships in these positions to where they don't want to ruffle any feathers because they got to go for re-election, or they don't want to get fired from these positions. This stuff like this pisses me off really bad.
Parents here say this is far from over after tonight. They say they're going to continue fighting against what's been happening in their school district to protect their kids. Collins, the retired teacher accused of sexual abuse, is due in court on Thursday. In St. Helens, Catherine Cook, KGW News. In more,
like I said, parents, y'all need to take them for y'all kids a little bit more. This don't make no sense for this to continue to happen every week, every day. 2 and 3 stories come out about something like this happening every day. We got to stop this. Y'all got to stand up for y'all kids. Y'all got to ride. Y'all got to get a group, especially if your kid go to school and been in a school district long enough. You should have built a relationship up enough with another parent to say, hey, this happened to my kid. We gonna do X, Y, and Z. Y'all should have been gang planning this out, and you should have made sure this person really ride, like you said they gonna ride, to where something happened at this school, we can go up there and make something shake. Ain't no asking, ain't no begging, ain't no pleading for nothing. You get it by force. Like I say, if a nigga in the hood take your $20, you ain't gonna say, well, you must resign. No, you're gonna get it back in blood. But bitch, I know how this go. Well, I'm just gonna leave it alone. But like I say, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. It's the New Normal Podcast, and we gone. Peace.